You think teenagers are useless. And honestly, you're mostly right. Most of them are. They sleep until noon, they lose every argument because they forgot what they were arguing about, and the most dangerous thing they have ever done is send a risky text. But then there's this group. These are the teenagers who conquered empires, executed their rivals before their voices finished breaking, and led armies into battle while kids their age were getting their first job at a bread stall. Napoleon famously became a legend in his 20s. He doesn't even make this list. We're counting down history's 4 most terrifyingly competent young people. The rules are simple. They had to have done something geopolitically, historically, earth-shatteringly significant. Not just impressive for their age, but impressive by any standard, at any age, in any century, while still being a teenager, or close enough that it's genuinely embarrassing. 4 people made the cut. Napoleon, who you will hear about exactly once more and then never again in this video, did not. Let's go. Just so we're clear on what we're comparing against. Napoleon Bonaparte became an artillery officer at 16. He fought his first real battle at 24. He became first consul of France at 30. By most people's definition, he is history's most prodigiously talented military and political mind. He is the baseline. He is the floor. Everyone on this list looked at Napoleon's resume and said, cute. Number 4. The girl who showed up to a war and just fixed it. The year is 1429. France is losing the 100 Years' War. Badly. Paris has fallen. Northern France is under English occupation. The French crown prince, technically the heir to the throne, but not yet crowned because nobody can reach the cathedral, is hiding in a castle in the south, and more or less hoping the situation resolves itself. It has been going on for 90 years. And then, a 17-year-old girl from a tiny village in Lorraine arrives at his court and explains that God has personally told her to fix it. Her name is Joan of Arc. She has no military training. She has never held a command. She has never been in a battle. She has never been outside her region for any reason more significant than attending church. She owns nothing except the clothes she borrowed to ride here. The French commanders, who are desperate and, crucially, out of better options, give her an army. She lifts the siege of Orléans in 9 days. 9 days. This is a siege that had been grinding on for months. Professional soldiers, experienced commanders, nobody could move it. Joan arrives, reshapes the assault strategy, leads from the front, and 9 days later, the English are retreating. She's not finished. She drives a campaign across the Loire Valley so fast that English commanders keep riding back to London trying to explain what is happening. She takes an arrow through the shoulder, not a graze, through, during an assault on a fortress, has it pulled out, and leads the attack the next morning. By summer, Charles VII is being crowned King of France at Holland's Cathedral. The thing that everyone agreed was impossible. Done. She is 17 years old. Here's where it gets worse. The following year, she's captured by Burgundian forces and sold to the English. She's put on trial for heresy. The trial is a farce, politically motivated, procedurally corrupt, designed to produce one outcome. She defends herself for months in front of trained theologians with no legal counsel, often in interrogation sessions that start before dawn. She is convicted. She is burned at the stake at 19. The English burn her 3 times, specifically to ensure there was no body left to become a relic, because they are, to their credit, at least taking her seriously now. She gets a statue in Paris. She gets canonized as a saint. She becomes the national symbol of France. She did all of this inside 2 years. Number 4. Number 3. The 9-year-old who declared war on an empire and never stopped. This one starts young. 247 BC. Carthage has just lost the First Punic War against Rome. The peace terms are humiliating. Territory gone, enormous war payments, their navy gutted. The general who led Carthage's army, a man named Hannibal Barca, is furious in the specific, cold, patient way that very dangerous people are furious. He is being sent to Spain to rebuild Carthage's power base. He is going to be gone for years. His 9-year-old son runs up to him at the docks. "Dad, I want to come." Hamilcar looks at this child, and he makes him do something that would follow the boy for the rest of his life. Swear an oath, a formal, binding oath, at the altar that he will be the eternal enemy of Rome, that for as long as he lives, he will never consider Rome a friend. The boy swears. The boy is Hannibal Barca. He grows up in military camps in Spain. He watches his father, then his brother-in-law, then absorbs everything there is to know about logistics, terrain, psychology, and the way armies actually break before they break physically. He is, by every account, brilliant, the kind of officer that soldiers would follow through anything. He becomes commander of Carthage's forces in Spain at 26, technically past our teenager window. We are including him anyway because this man was emotionally still 9 years old at that dock, holding an oath in his chest like a piece of coal, for the rest of his life. In 218 BC, he marches an army, including war elephants, across the Pyrenees, across the Rhone River, and then across the Alps. In November, Roman commanders waiting in northern Italy receive increasingly alarming reports. He crossed the Pyrenees. He crossed the Rhone. He is, apparently, crossing the Alps. In winter, with elephants. They send no reinforcements because they do not fully believe it. He crosses the Alps. He loses nearly half his infantry in the mountains. He loses most of his elephants. He loses vision in one eye from an infection he gets from the cold. He enters Italy and wins anyway. Battle of Trebia, Roman army destroyed. Battle of Lake Trasimene, Roman army destroyed, including the general who dies mid-battle while still trying to give orders. Battle of Cannae, Hannibal faces a Roman army nearly twice the size of his own and encircles it using a tactical maneuver, a double envelopment, that military academies still teach today. Rome loses between 50 and 70,000 soldiers in a single afternoon. He never takes Rome. He comes close enough that Rome never fully recovers psychologically. It starts with a 9-year-old at a dock, making a promise. Number 3. Number 2. The teenager who ran the largest empire on Earth using a wrestling club. You need to understand what the Qing dynasty looks like in 1661. It's a mess. The Qing conquered China in 1644 and are still consolidating. The new emperor, Kangxi, is 8 years old. His father just died of smallpox. 4 regents are running the empire in his name as a council, meant to balance each other. Within 2 years, one of those regents, a man named Oboy, has neutralized the other 3. He is ignoring Kangxi. He is placing his own people in every position of power. He is executing rivals. He is, functionally, the emperor. He has made it very clear that the actual emperor, this child sitting on the throne, is a formality. Kangxi watches. He reads. He studies military strategy, Confucian classics, mathematics, astronomy. He learns from Jesuit astronomers at court. He is, by every account, obsessively curious about everything. And he is very, very patient. At 14, he starts making a plan. Oboy is a problem. Oboy is also a former warrior, enormous, surrounded by allies, and not inclined to be arrested quietly. A direct move would fail. Kangxi can't fight him, can't outmaneuver him politically. Oboy controls the appointments, and can't wait him out forever. So Kangxi recruits a group of young companions, boys his own age, and trains them in wrestling. Just wrestling? A sport, a hobby. The emperor enjoys watching wrestling. This is not suspicious. Oboy occasionally watches them train and finds it charming. Nothing to worry about. At 15, Kangxi invites Oboy to a private audience at the palace. Oboy arrives. He is a decorated general who has survived decades of court intrigue. He does not bring his guard inside because this is an imperial audience with a 15-year-old. He is not concerned. The wrestling boys grab him. Before Oboy can respond, he is restrained. Kangxi stands up, recites 30 crimes that Oboy has committed against the dynasty, and has him arrested on the spot. The whole thing takes minutes. For the next 61 years, the longest reign in Chinese imperial history, Kangxi runs the Qing dynasty. He crushes the Three Feudatories' rebellion. He pushes Russian expansion back from the northern border and negotiates the Treaty of Nerchinsk, the first formal treaty between China and a European power. He leads military campaigns personally into Mongolia. He expands the empire to its largest extent. He was 15 when he took down Oboy with a wrestling team. Number 2. Number 1. He became Tsar at 16, and that was the least alarming thing he did. Ivan IV of Russia was 3 years old when his father died. He was 8 when his mother, the regent, was poisoned. He grew up in the Kremlin, being raised, technically, by the powerful boyar families who were using him as a political prop and largely treating him as furniture. He was mocked in his own halls. He was ignored mid-sentence by men who owed him formal obedience. His companions were humiliated to demonstrate that he couldn't protect them. He ate what the boyars left for him. He remembered every single one of them, specifically, by name. At 13, a boyar named Andrei Shwisky, one of the men who had made his childhood particularly miserable, was arrested on Ivan's direct order and thrown to the hunting dogs. The other boyars began paying attention. At 16, Ivan IV declared himself the first Tsar of all Russia. Not Grand Prince, not Duke, Tsar. He derived the title from Caesar, positioned himself as the heir to Rome and Byzantium, and had himself crowned in the Assumption Cathedral in a ceremony he personally designed because the existing ones weren't grand enough for what he was claiming. Then he got married, because apparently that was also on the calendar that week. And here's the part that almost never gets taught. For roughly the first decade of his reign, Ivan is actually a competent ruler. He overhauls the legal code. He creates Russia's first standing army. He reforms local government. He opens trade with England. He expands Russia's territory east and south. Historians who study this period call it the Good Decade. He is not called the Terrible yet. Terrible, in Russian, Grozny, is closer to formidable or awe-inspiring than purely negative. It arrives later, after his wife dies and he decides poisoning was involved, after he builds the Oprichnina, a personal terror force that answers only to him and uses it to massacre the nobility he no longer trusts, after the Novgorod massacre, where he burns the city and kills thousands based on a suspicion of disloyalty, after the moment he strikes his own son so hard in an argument that the son dies from the injuries 3 days later. But all of that is still ahead. Right now, he is 16. He is standing in a cathedral in Moscow being crowned Tsar. The boyars who tormented him are seated in the audience, applauding at the correct moments and trying to calculate whether they have made a catastrophic mistake. They have. Number 1. 4 teenagers. One who saved France in 2 years and didn't survive to see it hold. One who made an oath at 9 and spent his entire life keeping it. One who toppled a regent using athletic training as a cover story. And one traumatized child who decided the appropriate response to a terrible childhood was to become the most powerful person in the largest country on Earth. I spent my teenage years losing arguments and developing opinions about movies. Napoleon, for reference, didn't lead his first major campaign until he was 24. He is not on this list. He knows exactly why he's not on this list. If this is the kind of history you want, The part where it gets genuinely strange, where the people involved should not have been capable of what they did, where the facts are more dramatic than anything scripted. Subscribe. We have more lists. We have more disasters. We have more people who had absolutely no business doing what they did, and did it anyway. See you next time.